Prabhuji, I made you host. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, all devotees, Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Let us have
Prabhuji.
an energetic Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. So we start the chapter today and wonderful bhajan by Chitra Mataji. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatume. With that, let's start. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatume. Yes. Just tell me if the screen is visible, my voice is clear, video is
Yes,
available,
Prabhuji.
everything is okay.
Yes,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you, Anusha Mataji. Thank you so much. Okay, so just why this is not going, the screen is not going. Why? Hare Krishna. Yeah. So today is Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of Supreme Person. So we'll have the essence of Gita here also in the last three verses. And ideally, I thought, I mean, we must be thinking that after Purushottama Yoga, what else is left out? The Gitas, in fact, should have completed by this time. However, there are, again, 16, 17, and 18 is still there. But yes, this is the nicest one and very beautiful. And verses also, you all have heard beautiful verses. The whole essence is there. So humble obeisance to Radha Govinda, Kulai Mangaluru, beautiful deity. Hare Krishna. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी क्षमानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो 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 विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we start the chapter. Hare Krishna. All glories to founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai, and our temple president, His Namanishta Das Prabhuji ki jai. We start. All our teaching are based on the teachings of Bhaktivedanta, our Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Everything is from as it is. So I have been requesting you that please buy. So now I'm at least sure that you would have bought the Bhagavad Gita as it is, and also the Mala. It comes with other books as well. So please buy that because all the teachings are based on his purpose, like parampara as it is. No change, no addition, no deletion. Whoever is talking, whether me or anyone, everyone will talk the same. Hare Krishna. So we proceed. So chapter 14, that was, what was the name of the chapter 14? Hare Krishna. Yesterday. Hare Krishna. We can unmute. So what is the name of the chapter yesterday? Okay, I'll give a hint.
Was it Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Very nice, very nice. It is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So it was about the mode of nature, mode of material nature, the yoga of mode of material nature, three modes of material nature. So Guna, Traya, Vibhaga, Jagat, division of three modes of material nature. And we learned so many things there. So we learned, in the liberation and the conditioning of the living entity, how it gets in touch with the gunas and accordingly how he behaves, what he behaves in sattva, raja, and tama, and ultimately, also recognizing the supremacy of mode within a person. Sometimes sattva might, be more prominent. Sometimes raja might be more prominent on the same person also, and also the part D, we also saw that what happens when this mode is the predominant thought at the time of death. If somebody is at Sattva, then he goes to the higher planets. So Urdha was the word. Then Madhya, the middle is where the Raja goes to the middle. That is Earth, earthly planet. So there are 14 planetary systems. So in the 14 planetary system, Earth is in the middle, and there are, you know, other lower planets where the Tamaguni also goes there in the lower planets as well as to the hellish planets. So both. So we have seen that in Goloka chart also. So how does it look like? So that we discussed. And finally, most important was that then we say that is there a way to transcend this mode, because there is no point even in to be in the Sattva Guna. He will be very pure, very knowledgeable, but he might, at some point, he might get puffed up with the superiority, with the knowledge that my knowledge is the best and things like that. So he might go to different, uh, you know, good planets or higher planets like Satyalaka, Maholaka, Janalaka, Kailasa, wherever. I mean, he might go, even Brahmaloka, the highest he will go. But again, the transcendence is not happening. He stays there, gets the result, enjoy the result, and then it falls back to the earthly planet again once the results, the good results are over. Now, Krishna also gave that what are the ways to transcend this mode. So he said that okay, devotional service is the only way, because that is which is akarma. So by that one can transcend. That is what he has said. Now, in fact, from that onwards, we'll see in chapter 15, first six verses, so to say, 1 to 5, or first five verses, how, so becoming detached from the material world, the reflection of the spiritual world. So now he will talk about in a beautiful metaphoric way. Now we'll talk about what is a spiritual world and what is this material world. Material world means this earthly planet. There might be millions of universes which is coming from Karan Dakshai Vishnu, and in one of that universe, one of that billion universes, our Garbhodakshai Vishnu is there, from which navel Brahma is there at the highest, and then you know these 14 planets where Earth is in the middle. So we are even not even you know not even 0.1% of the entire cosmos or entire spiritual world. So, how to become detached, and he also now he will talk about what is spiritual world and what is this particular material world where we are in. So he'll give a beautiful example, and we'll understand that. Then 6 to 11, Purushottama Yoga, the transmigration he will talk about. Purushottama Yoga, Krishna's position as the maintainer. In any case, we know that Varta, Bhukta, Maheshwara, that we know, but there will be further elaboration on that. And then finally, the last, 16 to 20, these are, we can say, the last three verses are again summarizing the Vedas and Vedanta kinds of living. Uh, and, yeah. So basically summarizing the like we already talked in between also many times. Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. So that is what he's saying, that he is, for example, in Kshetrajna chapter, what we said is that soul is the Kshetragya of the body. Super soul is the Kshetragya of all the bodies. So similarly, in Vedas, what is that know? What is so in the what were the questions? Who is knowable? So who is to be known? So here, ultimately, out of so many Upanishads, only one person is to be known, the supreme person. Therefore, it is Purushottama Yoga, and therefore the person who is to be known is Krishna. If Vedas ultimately the ultimate objective of Vedas is to know Krishna, then why to touch the nose in this way? Straight away, let us go to devotional service and be with Krishna as quick as possible. So that has been, that is again coming in this chapter. Then summary. So there are five sections that we see. So becoming detached from the material world, the reflection of the spiritual world. Now let us say, how does spiritual world look like? How does material world look like? This is on the right side of the picture, and the first verse starts. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam Adha Shakham Ashwatham Prahurabhyayam Chandamsi Yasya Paranani Yastam Vedasa Vedavid Yastam Vedasa Vedavid Yaha Pasati Sa Pasati. He always, makes this kind of beautiful statement. Only he knows that he knows. So what he knows? He knows that Urdha Moolam Adha Shakam. So Moolam is the root, is Urdho. That means the root is upward and Adha Shakam, and the branches are Adha in the downward. So what he's saying, the Supreme Personal Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. And one who knows these actually knows the Vedas. Now we can see here there is we can see a banyan tree here. Banyan tree has many branches. It has figs. It is some branches are going up, some branches are going down, and there are also leaves here. Now Krishna is saying that these leaves are Vedic hymns, and at the top of the inverted tree, who sits? Brahma sits there. And so, so, so basically, what is it? What is an inverted, tree, ultimately? So inverted tree is nothing but a reflection of the original tree. So what is the law of reflection? Any science, I mean, we have read it in our science book also. The law of reflection is that, law of incidence is equal to law of reflection. So that is the reason why we get an inverted image. If you go near a pond or a lake or an ocean or river, whatever, then if there is a tree, what is the reflection? The tree stands erect, like the root is in, root is bottom and the branches and the leaves are at the top. This is how an erect tree looks like. But what the reflection looks like, it looks like just an inverted image. That is, the root is at the top and the branches and leaves are at the bottom. So this is just, and this is the description of the material world. So now question is, if we go back to the law of reflection, the reflection is possible. The image inside and water is possible only when there is a real tree. If there is no real tree, then reflection is also not possible. So therefore, if our material world is a reflection, there must be some real world for in which, I mean, of which we are having this material world reflection. So there has to be a real tree. So therefore, Krishna is saying the real tree is the spiritual world. And he's also saying this is not a inverted reflection, this is a perverted reflection. That is the word which is to be remembered. Why it is perverted? Because everything which is there in the original tree, the meanings are changing. The reflection, in the reflection, the meanings are changing. Something which is absolutely blissful and happy, now the same reflection is here sense enjoyment. Things like that. So we'll see that how it is. So we can see here, there is a tree, there is a reflection which is happening. This is compared to the material world. And this is a perverted reflection. And why it is perverted reflection? Because the originality of the sense on which the leaves are there or the branches are there in the spiritual world, that context is totally lost. And that when the context is lost, then we see a perverted image. So then Krishna is saying 5 points. So let us see what are the 5 points. Number one, he's saying that material world is described as an upside down banyan tree. We have seen that. Next, he's saying that why material world is compared to a banyan tree. The material world is compared to a banyan tree. Now I'm not talking about inverted banyan tree. I'm just talking about why material world is compared to a banyan tree. So what like a banyan tree is like, if you just imagine a banyan tree, and also Krishna, in his opulences also he said, Vrikshanam Ashoto Asmi. He already said it. I mean, that's the allegory was there already before also. So now he's saying that in a aswatha tree or in a banyan tree, in any case, there are many branches as such. Not unlimited branches, but here the comparison is that in the material world, the branches are unlimited. Why it is unlimited? Because desire is unlimited, unfulfilled desire is unlimited. So we go from one branch to the other branch to the other branch like a monkey, and it is an endless. So therefore, it is compared with the banyan tree. Third, what is the purpose of the Vedic hymns? Because Vedic hymns are, in fact, at the bottom and which are at the top of the spiritual world. So Vedic hymns are like what? Like Purusha Sukta is part of Vedic hymn. Saharsa Sirshaha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat, all that. So those moments of Vedic hymns, the person is realizing the presence of Krishna, accepting the presence of Krishna. So he's in the platform from where he can transcend. So therefore, the leaves are at the bottom. So let us understand one thing, that whatever is the top in the material world is actually the bottom in the spiritual world. Like Brahma Loka is supposed to be the most enjoyable, destination, let's say. Uh, but that is at the bottom because from there, the original root of the spiritual tree starts. So Vedic hymns are to elevate oneself gradually from mental conditioning to spiritual life. We understood that. And why understand this tree of illusion? Because if we understand that as true, for example, if there is a tree here and somebody thinks that, there are some, he can pluck some of the leaves or he can pluck, some fruit or whatever, and he jumps into the water, there is nothing, right? So when he will do this, just a moment. So he will do it only when he thinks that it is real. Otherwise, he will not jump into the water. So if he thinks it is illusion, then he will cut it off. So that's the reason. And fifth is, what is the process of extrication? How to do it? Just by chanting Hare Krishna. Devotional service is the best way, explained by all chapters till now, from first chapter to 14th chapter. We have, by this time, we know very well that this is the only and only way. Nastebhyo nastebhyo gatirannatha. So detachment from material activities. So what is detachment? So detachment is involvement in the work. However, no attachment. That is detachment. So there are two ways for detachment. One is the state of Padmapatra Vivamasa, like the lotus leaf. Other ways, change the attachment to Krishna. So if we are using our senses, then change that for the service of Krishna. So in any case, now it gets detached. Okay, so this is what it is. So we can see on the right hand side that on in an original banyan tree we see the leaves. The comparing it is comparing with the leaves as the Vedic hymns, where the transcendence after that is possible. So here two things have happened. One is that Krishna has refuted the impersonalism, which says that spiritual world consists of undifferentiated Brahman only. No, the spiritual world doesn't, just have Brahman. It has got all the souls in service mood. So all that we have seen there. And second, what exactly we mean by to know the Vedas? Aham, no, Sarve Sachaham Hृदि Sannivisto Mattah Smritirjnanam Apohanam cha Vedaihi Sarvaihi Aham eva Vedyaha Vedanta Kritveda Videva Chaham. So what does it mean? So it means that one knows how to cut off the attachment to this material world. So knowing Vedas means to cut off the tree of the material attachment, or that tree, the tree we've sawn, the inverted tree. One who is attached by ritualistic Vedic formula is just attracted by the beautiful green leaves. So if you are, so Krishna is saying that if you are attached to the leaves, which which is basically all the ritualistic affairs of Vedas, then will not will not think it that it's to be cut off. Then we'll get attached to it and will only try. Maybe we'll be in a sattva guna, and all that will happen. We might go to good planets, higher planets, but it is not the be all and all. So our ultimate aim is to get out of this cycle, which doesn't happen in any case. So 15.2, the branches of the tree extend downward and upward. We've seen that in normal banyan tree also you will find some branches go upward, some branches go downward, and how it is nourished. So it is nourished by three modes of nature. Which is nourished by three modes of nature? The branches. The twigs are the objects of the senses. The tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. So once the fruitive actions of human society starts, like the example of Raja that we were discussing, I want more, I want more, I want to slog more, slog hard, endeavor, unlimited endeavor, and ultimately death, and again take birth and do again the same endeavor. So that is what is the consequence of fruitive actions in human society. So this is what the branches look like. So there are some lower branches, there are some higher branches, there are some roots. So we'll see what those means. So we can see. So like the one we saw that there is a reflection of a banyan tree in a, let's say, pond. So what is the medium? The medium is the water. So on which the original, tree reflects under the water. So medium is water. So what is separating between the original tree and the image is water. Similarly, what is separating from Krishna to the material world is the unfulfilled desire. We can see here. We can see here. So this is the, you know, inverted or perverted uh, banyan tree, and all the branches, the Vedic hymns are there. There are some religious religion somebody is doing some sense gratification on the lower side. Then absolute impious acts are happening on the lower, so they go to the lower side. So all these are happening here. And why it is happening? So entire the reason of the material world is only this. This is the desire. If we cross that, then we go to Golaka. So material world is a tree nourished by three modes of fruitive activity. So different species manifest according to the portion of the modes. What does it mean? It means that if Sattva is more, then it goes to the higher planets. If Raja is more, it stays in the earth because it wants more fruitive activities, more and more and more. So sometimes we find that that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water. So it is now being compared. So It becomes barren when, there is devoid of water. And if it's sufficient, then it becomes green. But then Krishna would be saying not to nourish this tree, not to make the leaves greener, because once you are attached to the green leaves, will be again, going round and round here. So similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. Yeah, so naturally, what happens is, based on the various modes of nature, it requires to fulfill that desire, it requires certain kind of body. So if somebody wants to, let's say, enjoy non-veg only, then it may not be possible in a human body. It may be possible maybe in a lion's body. Or somebody wants to enjoy something else, absolutely poisonous things, then it might become a snake or whatever. I mean, anything can be thought of. We given the example of, divers, too much of, propensity to go deep into the water, then fine, then please become a fish and enjoy it. So there is a good example here to understand, spiritual world. The spiritual, in fact, this material world, as I was saying, that this is just 25%, but not this one. The entire material world. Our Jada Jagat is maybe 0.001% of the total Jada Jagat. So there are material universes in other universes as well. So our own universe from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, that particular universe, it is maybe 0.1%. But otherwise, total material world, which is there in all the universes together, is hardly 25%. And 75% is the spiritual world. So that means all the souls are already enjoying in the spiritual world or having that place with Krishna. We have seen how various kind of muktis were there, Sarupya, Salukya, Samipya, all that they're enjoying the bliss. Only few who are stuck here, comes to this 25%. So we can compare this, with a mother's kitchen where, the child, the small baby or the child comes and, asks the mother that, okay, I want to also cook along with you. Then mother says, no, 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 you cannot do because you are such small and, there's a fire. Then still she continuously say, no, I want, I want, I want. So she said, okay, fine, you take a toy kitchen. So there is a kitchen set, toy kitchen set, everything is there. Burner is there, food is there, but everything is what false. And even the food is also prepared. Everything she prepares. Now she actually gets hungry. So can she get, that food which she had prepared? She cannot, because that's just a play. That's not real. Similarly, this is not real. We can understand this material world as the toy kitchen. And the real food, the food for the soul, is there with Krishna. So, so branches of this benevolent tree are spread in all directions, upward, downward, sidewise, and in other parts there are variegated manifestation of living entities, human beings, animals, or say so. In the lower parts, that is lower branches, who are there? Human beings are there, animals are there, horses, cows, dogs, cats, all kind of beasts. So whereas on the upper parts, because those are the people who are in the sattva, so they go there. So they're having some demigods, gandharvas, and other higher species, up to Brahma. And as a tree is nourished by water, this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. This is most important. This tree is nourished by the three modes of nature. So if we want to transcend the three modes, the first thing we have to do is cut off this tree. That's what Krishna wants us to do. So just as some tracts of land, we have discussed this, and the twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects, sight, smell, sound, taste, form, touch, and so on. So everything is happening. So whatever is happening in our, material world, we were attached to the senses, and we have heard so much about the power of the sense, the power of the mind, how the mind can be the best friend, best enemy. So all that we have learned. So, but everything is happening in this metaphor of inverted banyan tree or perverted banyan tree. So now let us see. So what Krishna is saying is that by development of the different modes of nature, by development of different modes of nature, that is Sattva, Raja and Guna, Sattva, Raja and Tama, or goodness, passion and ignorance, we develop different senses. So these senses which are developed in various species, whether it is fish, whether it's a pig, whether it is an insect, whether it's a butterfly, those bodies are created with a particular type of senses. For example, tiger has a special sense of smell. So it is called Vyaghra in Sanskrit. Vishesha Aghranam karoti yaha. So whoever, smells, with smelling power is, extreme. So accordingly, we get those bodies. So the senses are associated with the enjoyment of different sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attached. We discuss this. Most important, the tendencies towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from the secondary roots which spread in all directions. So we just said that it is unlimited. So the real root is from Brahmaloko. Why? Because Brahmaloko is at the top. After that, if Brahma wants, he is the secondary creator of Vedas. The primary creator is Krishna. But after having the knowledge of Vedas also, he's stuck to Brahmaloka. He's not able to go. What is that? Therefore, Krishna is saying that what is the objective of Vedas? To know me. However, Brahma is still stuck in the Brahmaloka. So if Brahma is stuck in the Brahmaloka, think about us. So Krishna is just saying every time, reminding us through various questions through Arjuna that this is the material world. This is not the real world. This is a false world. So we discussed Maya yesterday, right? That which is not. So the tendencies toward okay. So the real root is from Brahma Loka, and the other roots are in the human planetary systems. There are 14 planetary systems. So after one enjoy the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary system, he comes down to the earth and renews his karma for productive activities of promotion, etc. And the planet and this planet of human being, the earth, is considered the field of activities. That is Kshetra. So this is further analysis of the same. So this is the eternal tree. So this tree is permanent, where Krishna is there. All devotees are there. Krishna's devotees are they are having all the kinds of muktis, Sarupya, Salukya, Samipya, Sarsti, and they're enjoying the bliss. Now there is a perverted reflection. Brahma is at the top. There's a material world. It's a temporary reflection. So nourishment is happening through three modes. Reflection medium is what? The desire, and the branches are going up and down in the 14 planetary system. Earth is in the middle. There are seven above and six below. Then green leaves are Vedic hymns, twigs are sense object, tips of the branches are our various senses, and fruits. Most important, where the fruit comes. Fruit comes at the bottommost part of this tree. So the fruits are karma of the jivas, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Look at this. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So there is a possibility of moksha here from the fruit. However, the living being stuck or the human stuck at dharma, artha, and kama and do not go for the liberation. So like Brahma. So living entities involvement. So it hops from one branch to other branch, other branch to other branch, and it is unlimitedly extended. So three and four together, the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. Imagine what Krishna is saying. So there is no real tree. This cannot be perceived in this world. This he is giving it as a metaphor. However, it is it is what it is. So no one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So doing, one must seek that place from which there is no return. and their surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead from whom everything has begun. Sarvam Matta Sarvam Pravartate, and in whom everything is abiding since the time immemorial. So here Krishna is not saying that please nourish the tree, please nourish uh, the leaves, etc. He's simply saying that just cut it off, because only by cutting it off you can reach me. And what is the X by which we'll cut? The X is of detachment. Now, what is detachment? Now we can understand it this way, that somebody say that, okay, I want a house, or I want a car, or I want something. So that can become an attachment, that can become a detachment as also. So wanting something not necessarily lead to attachment. Suppose somebody wants a house or a car. Supposing somebody wants a car, but then he thinks that by this vehicle, he will travel all the holy places and see Krishna's various temples, then that becomes spiritual. That doesn't remain as an attachment. House. Now he's thinking if he makes a big house, then he will have a beautiful altar, and then he gives loving service to Krishna, makes wonderful prasadam, then distribute to the devotees, and you will have wonderful satsang there. If that kind of thought is there, then that is not attachment. That is what, and that is how, with the X of detachment, we can cut off the tree. Okay, so this is a tree, we have to cut it off. What Krishna is saying. So the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. So use the X of detachment. So this tree is not real, but a reflection of the real tree. Then it is impossible to fully understand the real tree. Why? It is not possible to understand the real tree because we are already in the, false tree. So only if we cut down, then only we can understand. And then one must go beyond the tree and surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the sequence in which we're supposed to go as Krishna advises us. So why real form of the tree cannot be understood? Because root is up and extension is at the other end. When we are entangled in the material expansion, one cannot see how far the tree expands and where is the beginning. So what does mean? So if the entanglement is continuous, so one leads to other leads to other. So now I am wanting something, maybe a promotion, or I want, some material benefit. Then that leads to something else. Then that leads to maybe, you know, alcoholism. That may lead to drugs. That may lead to something else. So that will carry on. So it will not stop because there is no determination coming anywhere. And determination, what is the prerequisite of determination? One has to come to the sattva because he can filter. So now he's not able to filter the thoughts. So naturally, the cycle will carry on. And that's what he's saying. So now how to perceive Krishna? So if we start with father, then father up to the Brahma Loka. Okay, Brahma is the secondary father, so to say. And from there, from Brahma Loka, then you go to Garvadakshaya Vishnu, because from his sprout, the lotus Brahma was this thing. And then go to Vishnu and then to Krishna. So Krishna is the end of our research work. That we are supposed to do. And how to search out that origin? From association with the person in the knowledge of SPOG, Prabhupada. He in the parampara. So gradually become detached from the false reflection, cut off this connection, actually become situated in the real tree. So it is just not possible to touch the real tree unless we cut off the branches. Again and again, Krishna is saying. So he has used a word called asanga shastrena. Asanga shastrena aranena chitva. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. So yesterday we discussed how to break free how to transcend. So here the formula has been given by Krishna now. Detachment is the only way out. And cutting the tree. How? Find one in knowledge, then surrender to the Lord, and then attain the eternal goal. And by that, we become break free. So detachment from bodily platform of life. We in this world today use people and love things. Just meditate on this word. Use people and love things, not love things and use people. And that is the reason all this happens. Parents getting old, discard them, send them to people are sending to old age home. Married life getting difficult, discard them, divorce. Kids too naughty, discard them, residential school. Friends are too selfish, discard them, unfriend. We are unhappy with ourselves, discard yourself, suicide. So it can go to any limit. Why? Because we are in the bodily platform. But this is a real you know uh, irony, you can say, or satire, whatever you can say, is that all this people are doing, sending parents to the old age home, etc. However, if the phone screen is shattered, then immediately they want to repair. So what about the repair of the already illusioned, contaminated soul with the material nature, which is happening for life after life? How long? How long? Krishna is asking. How long you want to be there with jumping from one branch to other branch? Enough of your monkeyhood. Now become a man. Come to me. Come to me. He's saying. So Nirmana moha jita sang nir, nirmana moha jita sanga dosa adhyatma nitya vibridda kamaha dvandaivir vimuktaha sukha dukkha samgehir gachanti amudhaha padam abhyayam tat padam abhyayam. So nirmana. What is nirmana? Those who are free from the false prestige. Mana. Mana is prestige. And moha, we have discussed many times. Moha is illusion, sangha is attachment, sangha dosa. So, what Krishna is saying, that those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, he has been talking in previous chapters also. Like matra sparshas tu kontaya, sitoshna sukha dukkada, agama paina Anityastan, Titikvashva Arjuna, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress. So Matra Sparsa Sukonte, Sukhi Toshna Sukha Dukada. And who and this was also published in the list when he published in the 12th chapter, the list what who are dear to him, all these were there. Somebody who is, free from dualities, who is unbewildered, know how to surrender to the supreme person, attain to the eternal kingdom. So this is the formula. So this way we need to understand. So first, nirmana. So one who is free from false prestige. Why prestige? In fact, what is prestige? But we want prestige because of what? We think that we are identifying with our position. Maybe somebody is chief justice, somebody is whatever, working whatever, or having some wealth, or having some knowledge, or having whatever, any of the six opulences, in a very, very limited quantity. With that, they think that they they need the prestige. But that's all false. That's not the identification. We are not the body. We are not the position. We are not the designations. We are the soul. So moha, freedom from illusion. Then jita sangha dosha, that is freedom from false associations. And false associations is what? I am not the I am the body. I am the mind. All those are false associations. One need to understand the eternal. Then dvandvair vimuktaha, that is freedom from dualities, and then vinibrata kamaha. So done with material lust and unbewildered. That's Krishna is saying. Imagine, Krishna is saying that if this is the process we follow, then nobody can stop. reaching him. So the section B, this is again it's talking about the transmigration. So here on the left side we see the Golaka, and the same thing is zoomed up here, the part of the Golaka chart where here we can see the earth, and then we, doing all this thing which has been recommended, we are reaching Golaka Vrindavan here. So this, what is what I mean, how does the Golaka is look like? So no, natat va not natat भाष्यते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः यद गत्वा न निवर्धन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम yad gatva na nivartante, where one goes, he never returns. Tad dhama paramam mama. Arjuna was saying, Param Brahma, Param Dhamam, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. He already has accepted that. Now Krishna is saying, my Dhama, my abode is the one where once you go, you do not return. And my Dhama, my abode, Goloka is not, it doesn't require sun, it doesn't require fire, it doesn't require, it is self-illuminated. It doesn't require a sun there. It doesn't require, any fire or anything. Not Sashanko, not even moon, no sun, no moon. Sashanko is moon. No Pavaka. Pavaka is basically Agni or fire. Nothing is required there. It is self-illuminated. So this is the concept of our material world. Why we say that it is dark? In fact, it is dark because dark. So there is, what is darkness after all? Darkness is, it doesn't have an independent entity. Darkness is primarily absence of the light. So Krishna is so in any case, what has happened is we have been dark for so much time, from time immemorial, that we have invented a concept called illumination. So you hear people saying that, oh, illuminate this, illuminate that, illuminate the room, illuminate my knowledge. So the point is we're trying for an external source to illuminate us, whereas Krishna is saying no external illumination required, no Sashanka, no moon, no sun. He is self-illuminated. So that is the kind of abode Krishna has. In the spiritual world, everything is lighted. It's all lighted, no darkness there. So characteristic of Lord Supreme Abode, that's what Tadhama Paramam Mama. That abode is not illuminated by sun, moon, fire, or electricity. Once attained, one never returns to the material world. Just imagine 84 lakhs of species in this world. We might go to another. This is just the earth, which is 0.1%. 25% or 25% minus 0.1%, so 24.9%. So 84 lakhs into so many. So I don't know how many lakhs and crores of births will be jumping into the branches. However, he's giving this guarantee that if you come to my abode, you will not return. Isn't that, just to be immediately done and grasped and nothing else matter? Nothing else means nothing else matter. Just think it. Just think it twice, thrice, four times. Now Krishna is saying who we are. We are. Mavevamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manah sasthani indriyani prakritisthani karsati. So the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses. Six senses and five senses, and he's talking about the mind, which include the mind. So now he's saying we are part and Mavaivansho Jiva Loke. He's saying that he's our relative because we are his parts. He's the father. So if anyone says, you will find, I think, Bhushan Prabhuji was saying in the last class that somebody was claiming that after doing some meditation, some spiritual organization are claiming that after doing wonderful meditation, you will become one with the God. And you might become, even the godliness will come into you and you will become God. That's just not possible, Krishna is saying. We're just the fragmental part. Mave vangsho, mam eva amsho jiva loke. We're just the fragmental part. So, what is the beauty of this? The beauty of this is that he's our relative, and we have to go to him. The fragmental part cannot, exist by themselves. It has to go to the main part. So we can understand it this way that if there is what is the fragmental part? Like there is a big sari and you are cutting into pieces, and then we are all the pieces, and the big sari is where the Krishna is. That can be one example. Other example, I think, any example we can take. So most important is that we are, as a soul, we are equal in quality as that of the super soul, because Aja, Purana, all this, our soul is also Aja. It has never taken birth. Najayate Mriteva Kadachit. That was the definition of the soul. That was not the definition of super soul. Najayate Mriteva Kadachit. Nanyanghuta Bhavitavana Bhuyaha. Ajo Nitya Shashvotoyam Purana. Ajo Nitya Shashvoto Purana. All these are the qualities of the soul, and all these are qualities of the super soul also. However, we're not same as quantity, because we have limited, we are fragment. So naturally, we are not same as Krishna. In terms of quality, we are same. In terms of quantity, we are very small. We're just the fragment. That is to be made clear here. We can see some of the sparks here. So we're just small spark. So there is a big fire. So if just for a comparison sake, if Krishna is a big, big, big fire, we are just maybe just small sparks. But the spark also has the same quality of the fire. That needs to be understood. Okay, Hare Krishna. So now let's go to the next. So this is the process. Simple original position of what is the original position of living entities? That they are the eternal part and person of the Krishna. Eternal part. That means we are permanently fragmented from Krishna. So we will remain as individual, will not become one with him, will remain, our individuality will remain, and we'll go to Golaka and will serve them with the five kinds or four kinds of muktis. So living entities belong to supreme Lord in the spiritual world. Yes. And current position, they are now struggling hard with mind and senses in the material world. Here we understood that. So because we are not able to cut the branch, so we are jumping from one branch to other. So therefore we are suffering. Okay, so now this 15.8. Shariram yad avapnoti yachapi utkramatiswaraha Grihatvaitani Samyati Vayurgandhan Ivashayat. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Here is again a uh, beautiful metaphor, I would say, uh, is given here, because previously we learned that Dehi nosmin Jatha Dehe Omaram Yavanam Dara Tatha Dehantara Prapti Dhira Satra Nomiti. We know that the soul changes body. The death is also just a transmigration. It is just a change of state. So nothing else. So like youth and the child and the youth and the old age, similarly the death and the next body. But here it's saying how it carries. Like the air carries a scent or an aroma. Similarly, the living entity carries the different conceptions. So of from one body to another. So what are the different conceptions? The various gunas, the various thoughts, whatever is there in the mind. So all it carries. So if if you're in a place where the air is passing through a fragrant garden, so you cannot see the air. So it comes with the fragrance. It doesn't touch it. Like the air remains same, but it carries it. So process of transmigration is explained The living entity acquires a material mind and carries different conception of life from one body to the next. That's what we understood as the air carries aromas. How does an air carry aroma? It doesn't have to get attached to the aroma. It carries, then again it goes, air remains air. Similarly, soul is not contaminated, or rather, air is not contaminated by the fragrance. If it goes through, let's say, some smelly air, area like garbage area, then it will carry that. But it doesn't get attached to that. Similarly, soul is not supposed to be attached to this, but it carries that to the next body without getting attached. Yeah. So we go to the next. The living entity, thus taking another cross body, obtains a certain type of ear, tongue, and nose and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. We just discussed this. Based on our, desire, we'll get a body, and based the body also will support those senses, the senses of ear, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, etc. It will support based on that particular desire. So, so you will get, particular ear, particular eye, particular sense of touch, tongue, nose, all this will get based on what is there in the mind at the time of death. So what happens? So there was a brahmachari who has to study Gita. Now what happens? Some rats come and bothered him. So he thought, okay, fine, let me get a cat, so that cat will eat the rats. Now cat bothered him. After eating the rats, now cat is free. So now he's bothering. Then he thought, okay, fine, then let me get a cow, so that at least I'll get milk, and I'll be little relaxed. Uh, but then for maintenance of the cow, he got married. So now wife troubles him for a child. So now gave her a child. Then what happened? Then child, now child. So initially the rat was bothering, now the child is bothering. Didn't study a single shloka. So ultimately what has happened? It has started with studying a verse, and ultimately this is how we get attached. उत्क्रमन्तं स्थितं वापि पुञ्जानां व गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषाः. The Jnana is coming again, the eye of knowledge. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body. The foolish cannot understand how to leave his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge, he sees it properly. So, what is the Jnana Chakshu primarily? Jnana Chakshu is through the scriptures, because scriptures gives us knowledge. Scriptures gives us the knowledge, like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all this gives us a knowledge. Through that eye, we can see what is true, what is false, what is a real tree, what is a inverted tree, what is spiritual world, what is material world. All this happens. However, a fool cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys. So even he's thinking that he will enjoy in a particular body, but he's actually then devastated, because somebody who is thinking that, okay, I want to have some somebody, he has not yet thought of what body, somebody where I can enjoy indiscriminate food. Now he's perhaps not thinking about a pig. So this is what happens. So, and this is what the irony of the modes. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge, like that of a mechanic, we cannot the car breakdowns, we cannot repair the car, but the mechanic comes, he has the proper knowledge, he comes, he has studied it well, now he knows from his experience, he has done it before also. So all our parampara, all our gurus and the parampara, they have and they have seen Krishna, they have experienced, they have gone. All that is written in the scripture. So we have to go by the scripture, like Sri Chaitanya. So the right channel is the parampara, and right language is the language in which, you know, it's coming from the Guru. The endeavoring transcendentalist who is situated in self realization can see all this clearly, but those who are not situated in self realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna himself, he has given the world the Sankirtana Dharma and propagated Vaishnavism, you know, so greatly. And he is always in the transcendental plane. So, the yoga of the Supreme, those not trained in the knowledge is ignorant. So, what is the cure for this ignorance? Krishna says knowledge. Those who are trained can see all this clearly because their minds are clarified by yoga practice, thus situated in self realization. We can see here Prabhupada and how his disciples and devotees are also reading, Gita, he chanting Hare Krishna, doing deity seva, doing everything at the same time. They are also doing their normal course of family duty and everything. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self realization cannot see what is taking place through, though they may try to. So bhakti yogis are the actual yogis, have realized self, world, and the supreme lord, can see things as they are. It is so simple. And the Purushottama Yoga, Krishna's position as the maintainer. So the splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of the whole world, comes from me. He said it. But now he's saying a new thing. He's saying, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. So, we think that light only does the photosynthesis in the leaves. But he also saying that the splendor of the moon is also coming from him, and the next he will say that even the entire vegetation is possible because the moon is there. The digestion that we're eating, so eating is not important, digestion is important. And he's, just imagine, Krishna is saying, I am your digestive fire. If he's not there, then everybody will die in any case. So he is the you know light of the sun, he's the splendor of the moon, he's electricity, he's the fire. Splendor comes from Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the maintainer of the material world. So if sun is not there, moon is not. If sun is not there, in any case, everything will go to total devastation. If moon is not there, then no vegetation is possible. Fire is not there, digestion is not possible. He is there as a digestive fire. So all that is coming from him. So what is the benefit of such a conception of life as given in the verse? This is what it is. Kamavistacha bhutani dharayami aham ojasa pushnami choshadihi sarvaha samabhuta rasatmakaha. I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of the life to all vegetables. Just imagine. He's saying he's supplying the juice to vegetables what we eat. First of all, the vegetables will not happen for eating. Then even eating is not sufficient without digestion. So he's a digestive fire. So he's the maintainer. Varta Bhokta Maheshwaraha is proving. And the concept that all the planets and everything are under gravity. So gravity is a very important force. It keeps our planets orbiting the sun and ropes the galaxy together. All that is because Shesha is there. So that is the concept, is that it is who is holding that? Who is this gravity force is coming from whom? So it is described that it is coming from the Shesha, Ananta Shesha. So now Krishna as the maintainer of the material world. All planets float in air only by Lord's energy. So the Lord, so So there is one thing very interesting. Lord is Lord, and so he will lord over, right? However, we as soul, as a fragment of him, we want to lord over, and thereby we get entangled. This is something, another way to look at it. So he holds everything, all the planets together. We also learnt about that, beautiful, garland where pearls are there, and all the pearls are staying together because there is a thread, and that thread is no one but Krishna. If the thread is not there, then everything will just fall down. All the planetary system will fall down without him. That's what he has given the Sutra Manigana above. All planets float in air only by Lord's energy. So this is the digestive system. Vaishwanara. Vaishwanara is the fire. Vaishwanara. Whatever you are, fire in your, gas stove also, the fire in your kitchen, the form of the fire is called Vaishwanara. So there are various names. Agni, Banhi, Vaishwanara. So Vaishwanara is that. So Aham Vaishwanara Bhuto Praninam Deham Asritaha Prana Apana Samyuktaha Pachami Annam Chaturvidham. So he's saying he is the fire of digestion. I am the fire of digestion in every living body, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the four kinds of food stuff. So there are, you know, this various air, prana, apana, vyana. So all these airs, he is the air. And he's also saying that I digest the four kinds of food. And which are these kinds? And the food is divided into various kinds in Ayurveda, like chewable, swallowable, lickable, drinkable, like water, juice, etc. All that requires a kind of acid in the stomach to digest the fire which is coming from the acid. That what he is. So he's not the fire of your digestion or our digestion, but he's also fire of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and his abode is self-dilated. So Krishna, as a maintainer of the material world, four kinds of foodstuffs we just saw: swallowed, chewed, leaked, and sucked. To digest, we need Krishna's energy as fire and life airs, outgoing and incoming. Without the air, the prana, the swasa and niswasa, without that, just one moment is not possible to live. And he is that prana, udana, samana, vyana. So prana, udana, vyana, all those various air, life airs are him, and he is also the digestive fire. This is the most beautiful one. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritirjnanamohanam cha vedaisya sarvai ahameva vedyah vedanta kritveda videva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. Now one can say that what about, let's say, plants? Where is the heart of the plant? Or about some maybe microorganisms, where is the heart? But Krishna is saying that sarvasya chaham sannivishto. It means that part of that entity, that organism, which is the most important, which because of which the life is sustaining. So it may be a microorganism, it might be a plant, it might be anywhere, but wherever, for example, in the plants, the from the leaf, let's say the photosynthesis is happening and it is getting the life. So whichever is the most important part for survival, that is to be treated as heart. So sarva sachaham hridi sannivishto. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. All three comes. He's saying not only remembrance, but knowledge and forgetfulness. In previous chapter, he said, I gave tesam. Anybody remembers that? I, you know, what was that? Anyone remembers? Tesham nitya vijuktanam yogokshamam bahamyam is there. And also, dadami buddhi yogam tam yanamam upayantite. So he gives the knowledge. He gives the remembrance. He gives the forgetfulness also. Because if you do not forget last birth, then in this life itself, so much of problems, so many fights with just this life's problem. What happens if we remember all the lives? So he gives the forgetfulness for the benefit of the soul or for the benefit of the entity. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Sir, so Vedai Sarvai Ameva Vidya. And indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta. And I am the knower of the Vedas. So he is the knowable, he is the knower. We can see here somebody is cooking, somebody is supporting, somebody is making the beautiful prasad. So everyone's heart, he is there. Sarvasya Chahamurdi Sannivisto. We can see in their heart, Krishna is there. So remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, everything comes from him. Vedaischa sarvai ahmeva vidya. All the Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajurveda, the only thing to be known is Sarvo Parishadagava Dugdha Gopalanandana. That's the point. Then comes the knowledge given by, Paramatma from within the core of the heart is explained by the modern, science as intuition. But they do not know. They say that it is intuition, but they do not know where from the intuition is coming. The intuition is coming from where? And that is coming from God. So the scientists think, or whoever, you know, they think that there is something called an intuition, but intuition is coming from Krishna directly. And therefore it is stated, Mattaha, 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 Mattaha Smutir Jnanam Upohanam Cha, Mattaha Sarvam Pravartate. Why is saying from me, from me? A small cub dog, it has not opened the eyes, but still, immediately after birth, it is seeking the nipples of the mother. How? How? Where from this knowledge is coming? That yes, she has to go to the nipples too for the life source. Where from that knowledge is coming? It cannot be intuition, right? Just a newborn baby. So where from the knowledge comes from his within, and that is from God. The other day, I think that this is so. There's an explanation by by exalted devotee. So he's saying that other day what he explained is Vedas mean just like the dictaphone machine. Prabhupada's lecture only. Dictaphone machine structured along with one literature is also compiled. So customers, they're given the delivery of the machine as well as the literature how to use it. So basically he's talking about the manual. Any machine that you buy, you get a manual. So that is the Vedas. Vedas is a manual. So therefore Krishna says Vedanta Krit. I am the compiler of Vedas. Because if it does not give the literature, then how he will use the machine? So the manufacturer of the machine, he knows how to use it. So he knows because he is manufactured. How we are the fragmental part of him. So our soul is manufactured by him. So he only knows how to handle it. And he has given it in the Vedas. So if you will be guided by the literature or the Vedas, that you so that your propensity to enjoy this material world, which material world? Which is basically inverted, perverted image of the spiritual world will be fulfilled. And at the same time, you'll again able to go back home, back to Godhead. So now you discuss this point that why we have come to this material world. What is the purpose? These things are mentioned in the Vedas. Vedas gives you knowledge about your relationship with God. That is the first knowledge. And then, according to that relationship, if you act. So, see, here is the catch. The Vedas gives all the knowledge that this is the relationship with God. But if someone just gets attached to the green leaf, that is just the ritualistic part of the Vedas, then again it doesn't transcend. That is the whole point Prabhupada is also saying here. The difficulty is when a person is missing the aim of life, his energy is diverted in different misleading ways. Just like for our bodily necessities of life, we require to eat, we require to sleep, we require some sense pleasure or sex pleasure, and we require some defense. So eating all this, so that is arranged by whom? By Krishna. So you eat, so you sleep, so you have a wife, so you have a husband, you enjoy. All that happens. And you properly defend yourself. But that is not your business. Krishna is saying that is not your business. Your business is totally different. Your transactions may be, all this you are doing. You're enjoying, sleeping, eating, meeting, defending. But what is the business for which you have come? The business is different, and that means living peacefully. He has to realize God, his relationship with God. That is his real business. But because people are not educated to real business, he thinks that these four principles of bodily necessities of life, that is eating, sleeping, sex, and defense, etc., is sufficient. So that I have repeatedly said that any nice, tasteful, eatable, either you keep it in the golden pot or in an iron pot. The taste is the same. But he, rascal, Prabhupada uses the word rascal for the fool, does not know. He thinks that if I put it in the golden pot, it will be more tasteful. This is going on. The sex life is the same. He's thinking in the human form of sex in a very nice apartment. So many decorated. It will change the quality of sex between dogs and dogs. It will not. No, that will not change. The same taste. But because he has no other engagement, better engagement, therefore he doesn't have better engagement. So therefore he's trying to improve these things. So he's taking from some silver apartment to a golden apartment, but the same thing. So God gives us all facility as because He's living in our hearts. So He wanted to enjoy in a particular situation, and God gives us facility of that situation and gives all instruction. Now you wanted, so He's the Upadashta Anumanta. Now you desire, just like one is very much addicted to eat, let's say, flesh or blood. So God, Krishna gives him the chance to accept the body of a tiger. So you want so much of flesh, so much of blood. So be tiger, enjoy. And he's given all facilities. That's what we just learned. What are those facilities? So he will get all his, limbs, ear, nose, eyes accordingly. Like he will have some nails, some jaws, and it gives instruction. Now you can enjoy. So he will give us all facilities. But if you want his instruction, where? In the Vedas. That what will be good for me, then he says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamikam Sharanam Braja. That is in the last chapter. So you give up this business, simply surrender on to me, I'll take protection. So if we are intelligent, we shall take his final instruction and follow it and be happy. That's all. That's a wonderful lecture by Prabhupada. It is quite relevant to what we learned. So the last part of this chapter, the three slokas, that is 16 to 20, which is again the essence. So like I said, that 25% is the material world and just 75% the spiritual world. So there are two classes of beings. The fallible, that is, who is having the birth, death, then old age and disease, and infallible, who doesn't have it. Like the souls who have already reached Goloka Vrindavan. So they will not return back because Krishna says once somebody goes there, he never returns. So, so there are two classes of beings. One is fallible, other is non-infallible. So in the material world, every entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is called infallible. However, 17 says, beside these two, that is fallible and infallible, who is fallible? Who is going in that, inverted tree? So all these are happening, birth, death, old disease, and everything is happening. It is happening to even Brahma. So beside these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Lord Himself, who has entered into this world and is maintaining them. So He is the third entity. He's saying He is not neither the fallible soul, not the infallible soul, but He is the greatest living personality who maintains us. So this is a beautiful lila. In fact, that He is the maintainer, He is the controller, and sits in the heart. Upadashtanumantacha varta bhokta maheshwaro paramatmetu chap yukto dehesmin purusha paraha. So uh, when he was in Vrindavan and he was with his gopas, then Brahma once visited him and saw a cute little boy how he could be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he did a trick. What he did was he, just uh, taken away and hidden all the gopas, all the friends, all the cows, all the calves, and put them in Brahmaloka. Now Krishna suddenly realized where have they gone? Now he could understand that Brahma had made the trick. Then he was about to return back home, and then he realized what will happen to the mothers because their small children have not come back. What will happen to the cows because calves have not come back? So what he did, he made thousands of this beautiful. You can see this forms, the forms of Vishnu, 400 forms. Thousands of Vishnus came out in this form, and all of them were converted. He converted them some into cows, some into his Gopa friends, some into the calves, and now the exact number who was there have gone to those families. Everyone was happy for 1 year. Then in fact, Brahma came. And then he could understand what is the mistake he had done. So he prostrated, and then Brahma's prayers come. Same thing happened to Indra. Also, we know the story. Yasmat sharam atito ham asharatapi chottamaha atosmi loke vede cha pratitaha purushattamaha, because I am transcendental. Transcendental is beyond the three modes, beyond both the fallible and the infallible. And because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person. So he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So three things to understand in this beautiful verse. So there are two kinds of living entities, fallible and infallible, and Supreme Soul is the master of both. That is, and he's the greatest personality, greatest, greater than greatest. Nobody is equal to him. No, nobody is greater than him. That is the uh, you know definition of uh, the greatest. So Krishna is saying, I am that Supreme Soul celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as a Supreme Person. This is the three shloki Gita, which is again essence of the Gita. So we see that when there is a problem, then all the devas go to Brahma, Brahma goes to Shiva. But however, if the problem is not solved, they go to Kshirodakshaya Vishnu here. We can see, which is again part of Krishna. But only Brahma can cross this ocean, milk ocean. No one else. And they sing the Purusha Sukta there, and then only they enter. And then all we can see all the devatas, everyone is singing in the praise of Vishnu, and Shiva is also saying this pastime, this beautiful story. I think Sri Rama Rama Ramiti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasra Nama Tattulam Rama Nama Varana. Another beautiful story where Parvati ji was saying, not able to give him food, and then he said, "What you are doing? I am doing this, you know, Sahasranam. So 1,000 names will take some time, so be patient." Then she was told that, "No, no, no, nothing to worry. There is a very, very small thing you can understand. Just 2 lines. You just chant this, this will become same." This is what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. He is the Supreme Personality. So Yomam Evam. So that way, that he is supreme. Yomam evam asammuda janati purushottamam. Purushottamam is what? The supreme enjoyer, supreme personality. So sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the supreme personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything. And he therefore engages himself in full devotional service. O son of Bharata. Just imagine. So through devotional service, we immediately understand who he is, because that is the first thing we understand in devotional service, that we are the permanent servitor of Krishna, and accordingly a devotee's day is made from from book reading, from arati to bhagavatam, association of devotees. All that happens because he understands that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and not only that, this is the only way and only way and only way. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. So there are three slokas. Knowledge explained in this chapter is the essence of Vedanta and most confidential part of the Vedas. What is the result of understanding? One will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. And what is the qualification to understand Purushottama Yoga? Sinlessness. So this is the chapter summary. Becoming detached, which is a requirement of the 14th chapter, because it was required to transcend the modes. And then 6 to 11 is Purushottama Yoga, transmigration. We saw that. Then we saw Krishna's position as the maintainer, the ultimate maintainer. The moon, the sun, the splendor, the light, the digestifier, everything we saw. Then Purushottama Yoga, the three sloka. This is the summarizing the Vedas and Vedanta. To entire Vedas, in fact, in Veda itself, there is a verse. Anantaha vai Vedaha. So Vedas are infinite, they say. But these three verses summarize the Veda. Isn't it so wonderful? So this is what we are supposed to do. So our action has to be started from the thinking level, which goes to the feeling level, then willing to do, and then action. So action doesn't start just like that. First is the thinking. So first, what should be the thought? The thought should be that there is no difference between Krishna and his name, Krishna's name and his person are all identical. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, his name and Krishna himself, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, there is no difference. This is the first thinking level. Second level is feeling level. What is that? We are not the body, we are not the mind, we are the spirit soul, and we are the servant of Krishna. And servant, as I was explaining yesterday, servant means not like we see in the material world, like maid servant means she will do only this service. Not like that. Service can be of various with various rasas. Like Vatsala Rasa will be from mother to son, like Yashoda Maya. Sakhya Rasa could be like that of Arjuna. Seva, Pada Sevana could be like Lakshmi Devi. So on. The Madhurya Rasa can be like that of a wife or a girlfriend. So, so ultimately, if we go from thinking to feeling to willing, then the action points come, chant Hare Krishna. Otherwise, chanting Hare Krishna will not start. The willing will not start if our thinking doesn't start. The thinking will lead to feeling, feeling will lead to willing, willing will lead to action. And then this is the door to Golaka. So all this we're supposed to do. Beautiful thing has been so yummy. What is yummy? Something which is so tasteful. So yummilicious for chanting. That should be there. Same way feel for the prasadam or any food. I mean prasadam particularly. Same yumminess we are supposed to feel when we're chanting. When we're saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, it's every word, uttering every word, we should have feeling, yumminess feeling we have to have. And it will come in any case. It will come by because that is transcendental. So think Krishna for everything. So that is thank Krishna for everything. There has to be enthusiasm. So therefore, in the start, I would say, tell Hare Krishna. So that has to be a good, enthusiasm. Always, a devotee is always enthusiastic. And sorry, yes, feel sorry for all mistakes. Feel sorry for every wrongdoing. Attentive while chanting. No multitasking and forgiveness. Forgive people who did wrong to us. Forgive everyone. Don't hold anything inside heart. So if you do all this SFYTE, then stay safe, we can say. So notes from morning japa talk of Prashant Mukundas Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. We send humble obeisance to him. So this is where we end the class. We also crossed today. Vanchakalpataruvyasya kripasindhu patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo namo namaha. This is the essence. So I think I took time. So once again, sorry for this. Last day also I took more time. So we come to the end of the class. Now I'm okay for any question and answer. Uh, so Yes. And thank you once again that everyone wanted, to continue